Lobster is iconic in the state of Maine, and this summer the Maine Lobster Marketing Collective is partnering with restaurants across Maine to serve a special edition lobster roll.
This campaign is designed to introduce us to the people who catch our dinner. News Center Maine's Lorraine Muir reports.
The Celebrate the Maine Lobster Roll campaign runs through to the end of July. Not only are customers able to bite into this Maine delicacy, but learn about those who made their meal possible, like Kurt Shumay.
I love to put lobsters on people's plates because that's what it's all about, feeding people.
Shumay comes from a family of lobster fishermen and has been on the water since he was in high school.
I raised 5 kids and was married to my wife for 42 years, and I did it all fishing.
It's fresh caught, it's so sweet, and it just conjures up a picture of the saltwater frontier.
Brian Langley has been serving up fresh lobster at Union River Lobster Pot in Ellsworth for years. He's also the board chair of the Maine Lobster Marketing Collective, which is putting on this month's campaign and serving up quite the unique type of lobster roll.
And that is a process that gets the lobster meat out of the shell raw, much like raw shrimp is, and then we deep fry it.
And when that fried lobster roll is served, it'll come with a QR code that introduces you to lobstermen who fish up and down the coast.
Well, this is midsummer, this is peak season, this is why people come to Maine to get fresh Maine lobster rolls and celebrate Maine lobster.
Funds from the sale of the limited edition roll will go to support the Maine Lobstermen's Community Alliance and its research to find new ways to fish and protect the ocean and North Atlantic right whales.
I think it's excellent, excellent. All the promotion we can get is great because there's enough negative out there that we need to counteract.
Hoping to preserve an iconic Maine industry for years to come and getting creative about what's served on your plate. Lorraine Muir, News Center, Maine.
I can get behind that new recipe.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think I've seen lobster fried before, but that did look really good.
I am up for that. Looks very good. That does it for us for News Center Maine at 5. Thanks for watching.
Your news at 5:30 starts right now.
Finally, this half hour, 2 teenagers are getting involved in a project aimed at beautifying the city of Belfast. Our town, Belfast, recently added 5 new hand-painted chairs to its project aimed at encouraging people to relax and enjoy the downtown.
Yeah, and this time around, 2 teenagers were able to share their creativity. News Center Maine Lorraine Muir introduces us to the up-and-coming artist.
I've loved to draw for quite a while.
14-year-old Jem Bywater just completed middle school. He learned about the Sit Down Belfast project from his stepfather, Mike.
Yeah, I just felt like this would be a cool opportunity to do something else involving artwork.
Mike assembled the Adirondack-inspired chair, while Jem thought of ways he could add his creative expressions to it.
I was thinking about what I could put on a chair, and I looked over and there was a little figurine of Ultraman, so I just thought that would be a cool design.
Jem says it was the perfect design for the chair, and they got to work. It's not the only chair you can see in downtown Belfast, designed by up-and-coming artists. Kai Kutsi drew his inspiration from science fiction.
One day I was just making tons of designs for what it might be.
Kai's chair is designed as the inside of a spaceship, complete with controls, an abduction hole right out of a sci-fi movie.
And then this is the whole scene with the UFO abducting the cow.
Executive Director of Our Town Belfast, Anna Cunningham, says the Sit Down Belfast project started last year to address a lack of downtown seating. For Cunningham, it's been a big success.
They are very popular. People take pictures, they pose, they do all kinds of things. It's very popular for, and I hate to be gender specific, but men that like to wait for their wives while they're in shopping.
Cunningham hopes the project will inspire more artists like Kai and Jem, and says she's working to provide more opportunities for public art.
I'm really excited about it. It's pretty rad to just see the stuff that I made just right here where everyone else can use it. It's super cool.
In Belfast, Lorraine Muir, News Center, Maine.
I think we all know who those men are.
A little sense of pride. That's cool. That is going to do it for News Center Maine at 5:30.
Stick around. Your news at 6 starts right now.
There is a festival happening this weekend in Bangor that's about much more than just fun and games. Sunday's Co-Park Fun Run and Festival is about taking a closer look at the problems facing a historic neighborhood.
It's also searching for solutions. News Center Maine's Lorraine Muir introduces us to an artist whose work is illuminating life in Co-Park.
This neighborhood wouldn't be anywhere near as nice if it didn't have Co-Park. Most we think about it as, oh, it's a breathing space, it's a green space, or, oh dear, homeless people are making a mess down in one end of it, or something like that. Art sort of pops up like poison ivy, you know.
Diana Young is an artist who's been living in the Co-Park neighborhood for 49 years.
She's 87 years old, lives right around the corner right over there, and she does beautiful artwork of this section of town.
Sean Faircloth is one of the organizers of the festival and runs Together Place Recovery Center. He says Diana spent many years documenting historic changes in the Co-Park neighborhood, like an area behind Hope House plagued with drug use and homelessness.
Did a lot of sketches and photos of the homeless up there, well, in their tents. Tent City is what they called it.
And so that's why I'm hoping this effort will help people really understand the asset that this neighborhood is. You know, it's one thing to complain about folks who have overdoses or folks who are unhomed.
Well, yeah, people consciously think about it rather than just, oh, there it is, you know.
Faircloth says at Together Place, they host art and creative writing groups, and at this event will not only showcase established artists like Young, but also those in drug recovery programs.
And we're going to have people who are in recovery helping with this event, participating in this event.
Now I'm just grateful that the city planners put it there in the first place and hope that it can be a magnet for the neighborhood in a good way.
That's also the hope from organizers of the festival and folks who live in the Co-Park neighborhood. In Bangor, Lorraine Muir, News Center, Maine.
The Maine Craft Weekend is here. Celebrations honoring crafting traditions are happening across the nation and this weekend and in multiple communities in the state. The city of Belfast is hosting events this weekend. News Center Maine's Lorraine Muir gives us a glimpse on what's to come.
I love this material and I love sharing about it with others.
Brian Frues is one of the many artists showcasing the best of their craft to the community this weekend in Belfast.
I'm super excited about this Maine Craft Weekend. It allows me as a glassmaker to share my craft, which is an old world tradition, and it's totally fascinating.
Frues says glass blowing is an ancient craft.
First, I get it hot to smooth it out.
And he's ready to teach it this weekend with a contemporary twist.
We're going to fire up the torches, weld some sticks of glass, make beautiful colors, transparency.
The Maine Craft Weekend is designed to be educational and give the community a chance to try their hand at something new.
We have a plethora of makers here in Belfast, artists extraordinaires of all sorts.
Amanda Cunningham is one of the organizers for the Craft Weekend in Belfast. In addition to seeing crafters work firsthand, she says the weekend also gives a chance for artists to connect with craft enthusiasts.
We're unique in that we're a community weaving studio.
Alice Seeger's own of Belfast Fiber Arts and is giving free fiber and fabric dyeing workshops this weekend.
Throw the shuttle. That's what this is called, a shuttle. And every single day people walk in and say, wow, I wish I had something like this where I live.
And for Caitlin Kearney, visiting from New Hampshire, the workshops is a perfect opportunity for her.
I love to learn and get ideas and inspiration, and so coming in here I wanted to see what kind of colors of the fibers that were available. I've recently started trying to dye my own fibers.
It's really important to have these events that go along around the state. They're bringing all of our small communities together.
Organizers say there will be ample fun, free learning activities for the entire family. In Belfast, Lorraine Muir, News Center, Maine.
This weekend, the timeless musical Mary Poppins premieres at the Penobscot Theater.
An original Broadway cast member will be playing two drastically different characters. News Center Maine's Lorraine Muir has the story.
For me! Not so much this character that I play, but I think that's one of the reasons why I love doing the two characters.
Janelle Robinson says her characters' journeys are part of a larger story that mirrors life.
Mrs. Corey is just joyful and larger than life, and Miss Andrew is the not so joyful.
Robinson was introduced to the Penobscot Theater in Bangor in an unexpected way. She worked with the theater's house manager, Frank Bachman, doing a cabaret at the Deck House on Mount Desert Island. They reconnected recently.
It was just a chance visit 2 summers ago, and I commented about the upcoming productions, and she connected with the theater, and the rest is history.
Robinson says these unique connections matter in the business.
It's not all good all the time. We have to deal with stuff every day of our lives, and how we deal with them is important. How the negotiations, the communication, et cetera, et cetera.
Robinson shares the important lesson her character, Mrs. Corey, portrays helps the audience to start thinking about these dynamics.
And because it's in a show like Mary Poppins, it's not so heavy. It's not so dark.
While there's a redeeming quality about Mrs. Corey, the same can't be said for Robinson's other role as Mrs. Andrews.
Although I think there will be a lot of people in the audience that will want to boo me in the bows, and I hope they do. I kind of get a thrill when I hear people out there boo.
She hopes families come see the show.
Because it's a beautiful story. It's being told beautifully in this theater, in this community, and it's so important to support the arts.
In Bangor, Lorraine Muir, News Center, Maine.
1 year after a serious injury ended a firefighter's career, he has found a new way to serve his community.
Joe Almond opened Joe's Flatiron Cafe in Skowhegan. News Center Maine's Lorraine Muir takes a look at his journey.
I'm feeling great. It's nice to see everybody come out and support me and support my business.
Joe Almond is serving up coffee, tea, sandwiches, and more at Joe's Flatiron Cafe on Water Street in downtown Skowhegan. But this was never a job he thought of a year ago.
I heard from my neurologist, and he was saying that most likely that I will never be able to go back to firefighting.
Almond suffered a serious brain injury after falling 25 feet while trying to recover a lost drone. Unable to return to firefighting, he was presented with a new idea.
He joked about a coffee shop, and I was like, huh. Like, I thought, yeah, maybe, kind of thinking about it.
The owner of 65 Water Street came to Almond with the idea just a day before he learned his fate from the neurologist. It took 2 months of recovery and 10 months of rehab in the building. Almond says it would not have been possible without support from his community, who started a GoFundMe campaign on his behalf.
The biggest thing for me is all the firefighters that had helped get me through. From working to just supporting me. That's probably the best part.
I think this day has been a day that we've all been waiting for. It seems so far away.
Rick Caldwell is a close friend and served alongside Almond on the Skowhegan Fire Department.
There's so many things that could have gone wrong that day he fell. He wasn't paralyzed. He wasn't going to bleed out. If you could see where he fell, it's definitely a miracle.
Got to make the best of a bad situation, right? And why not turn something into something spectacular downtown that we need?
Hannah Davis has been looking forward to having a coffee shop in town where she can take a break from working remotely. Almond is hopeful many more like Davis become regulars here. He says this moment is surreal for him.
And I'm sure at the end of the day, I'm going to stand back and be like, oh my goodness, like that actually happened. It's like we're here.
In Skowhegan, Lorraine Muir, News Center, Maine.
Joe's Cafe, by the way, open 6 days a week, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. They're closed on Sundays if you want to check them out.
Looked good.
Across Maine, cities and towns are trying to find unique ways to attract more businesses, residents, and visitors to their downtowns. The city of Bangor is highlighting its growing arts and culture scene. News Center Maine's Lorraine Muir shows how the Queen City is working to maintain a vibrant downtown.
part of our economic development, which is a huge piece of economic development, is what can you offer people in the arts and in the culture that's right there.
After a busy summer season, the city of Bangor is showcasing more arts and cultural events to keep up momentum into the fall. Big national acts like John Mulaney and Pete Davidson, a comic and toy convention, and theatrical performances are all serving as economic drivers.
Which is fantastic for our residents to be able to, have that rate in the city that they live in.
Exciting for new residents like Catherine Kilroy, who moved to Bangor 2 months ago with her daughter, and they quickly immersed themselves into the city's arts scene.
We've really enjoyed the community here, the really artsy feel of it, of Bangor. The people are very welcoming, and I love it.
That artsy feel and the closeness of downtown is even luring back former residents like Amelia Armstrong, who can already see the changes from when she lived here in the 80s.
I like the revival of downtown and a lot of the art shows, the sidewalk festivals and things like that have been happening.
We've been here for 9 weeks, and I can honestly tell you it has been the best 9 weeks.
Becky Garcia is the creative designer and owner of Paloma's boutique novelty gift shop that opened in August. She says the vibrancy of the downtown area and a welcoming community attracted her to this spot, and business is just booming.
We are busy. We are getting ready for the holiday season.
Sort of that chicken egg in economic development. If you bring people, then you're going to have businesses, and then if you have businesses, that brings people.
Krieg says all these events and cultural activities entice folks to come to downtown, and she hopes to keep them there. In Bangor, Lorraine Muir, News Center, Maine.